No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.
Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful morning. It is a day the Lord has made. It is also Good Friday for those of you who recognize and acknowledge the Lord Christ. This is the day that we recognize as Good Friday, when the good news is becoming made manifest. I know we like to say it's Friday, but Sunday is coming. So let's see who's with us. Oh, Benita, first in the studio. I love it. Good morning, beautiful. Hello, gorgeous Deb. How are you, sunshine? Love it. And here comes my other sunshine. Good morning, Khadija. How are you? So funny when I thought your picture she was that old, but then when you said she was 34, it's like, oh, that's too funny. I didn't see that. But yeah, happy birthday to your angel, nonetheless. So we continue to read from Audacity to Be Queen, Gina DeVee's book. And it's all about women's empowerment, how to really show up in the fullness of your divine feminine essence, your divine feminine power. Good morning, beautiful Carrie, all the way from Jamaica. We love you. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Angel. How are you, sunshine? So it's all about how to show up in the fullness of how God created you, because he was the one who first said you were queen. He said you were his masterpiece, right? So we get to know that that is the truth. We get to know that that is a birthright from which we are ascending. And we get to do it with grace, and we get to do it with ease, and we get to do it unbothered. Yeah. So as I like to ask you, if you're so inclined, please go ahead and share this video, tag a few friends, colleagues, women who really want to learn how to be queen. But oftentimes, right, it's this idea that, oh, you're being too much. You're being over the top, that you should be quiet, take a small seat in the corner and be seen, not heard. And so when we come up against this inner burning desire that you get to be more, do more, have more, express more, but then the societal norms, the people in your life, the people in your circle who are saying, shh, woosah, quiet, your energy is too much. And just hear me very loudly. Nobody gets to dim your light. You remember from, oh my gosh, what's that dancing movie? Oh my gosh, with Patrick Swayze. Somebody help me. I could ask Jim, he'll know. But the line from it was, nobody puts baby in a corner. Baby gets to twirl on his arms up in the air and spin and be dirty dancing. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Thank you, Khadijah. Nobody puts baby in a corner. So remember that for you when you feel like you want to be small, you don't want to show up like the queen that you are, because that's going to offend somebody else's sensibility. Remember that. Nobody puts baby in a corner, right? Nobody puts a light in a cupboard under your bed in a bowl. Light was created to be on a lampstand to shine. Jesus himself commands it, let your light shine. So if we can be just so intentional in recognizing every time you feel that energy to go in and go small because, ooh, someone's going to say too much. I think we talked about this either in January or February, and I gave you this retort, this thing to say. If somebody's telling you what to do, how to do it, and they are not Christ creator himself, do you have a check for me? Because only unless they're paying you for your services and they get to tell you how it gets to be done, right? I'm going to have you on as a speaker. I only want you to speak on this topic, and they're going to cut you a check. Then sure, they get to tell you how it gets to go down, but only until and unless somebody has a check for you, do they get to just waltz in and be like, oh no, you shouldn't do it that way because, you know, that doesn't look, that's not ladylike. Do you have a check for me? Good morning, beautiful Amber. How are you, honey? Do you have a check for me? Let that sink in. Let that become your inner mantra. You don't necessarily have to say it out to them, but in your mind, they're like, you know, Angel, the way you opened up your podcast, I didn't like it. I felt like you didn't give the person a good enough introduction. Do you have a check for me? Khadijah, the way you were showing off the machine, you didn't really give enough examples. You should have shown how it can make a smoothie and a coffee. You should have done at least 3 different things because, you know, not everybody has a coffee. Do you have a check for me? Carrie, that customer service concierge idea, you know, we don't roll like that in Jamaica. You know, we're just more casual. We're just like, wagwan, man. So you trying to be too brand new, too bougie. Do you have a check for me? Do you have a check for me? Otherwise, we're going to be like Jesus, overhearing but ignoring. Story in the Bible where this young girl died and they called Jesus to say, oh my gosh, he's like, help, help, help. And then he arrived and there were a bunch of people there. And he said, oh, don't worry, she's sleeping. We're going to get her. And they were like cackling and laughing. Oh, he's crazy. And what is he talking about? Jesus overhearing but ignoring. And then he took his few day ones, not everybody, just the inner circle, just the inner tribe members, and went up and did his business. Be like Jesus today, tomorrow, every day. Overhearing, but ignoring. My love, you are a client. You get to use it. Yes. Do you have a check for me? Because otherwise, we don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of time to explain to you my vision. I don't have that kind of time to explain to you the strategy that I'm employing. And like I like to say, people won't be able to see the things the way you see it because they're not sitting where you're sitting. You're sitting with the creator, universal master, God, who sees and knows all things, who has conversations with you, who's giving you his genius because he and he alone is the way maker. Good time Tina don't know the way. She's steady twirling towards the breakers, going for cocktails. She don't know the way. So she doesn't get to tell you how to run your podcast. Do you have a check for me? So we get to be fully expressed in the knowing that we are royalty. And I want you to just try it on. Queen Angel, Queen Khadijah, Queen Amber, right? Queen Carrie, Queen Jacqueline, Queen Deborah, Queen Bonita is in the building. Because here's what's the good news about that. As long as you're showing up and you're doing no harm, I say this all the time, sort of like the oath that a doctor takes. Do no harm. Me showing up fully expressed in my double wrist party today, because I'm just blinging all things Swarovski for the rest of my life, does no harm to anyone. But I'm showing up like the queen that I am. You ever seen the queen in some riffraff, in some schmata, rolling down Buckingham Way? Oh, I'm just gonna run to the store. I just figured I'd just put on some trackers and a wife beater. You ever seen? No, ma'am. Never seen it. We'll never see it. She's queen. And so she governs herself accordingly. So we are queen. We are queen for ourselves. We are queen for life. And when we show up fully expressed, the people recognize and respond accordingly. So please let us get steeped. Let us get steeped in that knowing. Yes. Good Friday morning. Beautiful Karen. Thank you for joining. Jacqueline said hello. You would never. In fact, Jacqueline has a really great message she got from her grandma, her grandmother, when we were at the beginning stages of building out her brand. And one of the things that I do as part of that process is get from you the backstory. What is the story of you? How have you come to be you? What are some of the things that have been like anchors and pillars in your life that help you to show up the way you currently show up? And Jacqueline shared with me that her grandmother, her philosophy, her guiding principle when it comes to how you are expressing yourself, both inside your house and outside your house. She said, if you are stepping through the door, so she always keeps like a mirror at the door. You're stepping through the door to go out and hit these streets. And you look at your reflection. And if what you see reflecting back, you couldn't sit down and have tea with the queen, make a U-turn and go gather yourself together and put on some better stuff. Right? That's where she is grounded. Tea with the queen. I tell you all the time, I'd rather be overdressed than underdressed any single day, because as a queen, you show up ready, fully expressed, unapologetic. Good morning, beautiful Stephanie Burkett Blanchet is in the building. One of my fellow leadership lovelies. Thank you for joining, my love. Thank you. Thank you. Suzanne. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. We have missed you. Suzanne's one of my clients. She's also an actress. She's out there doing big things. Did you see she was in a commercial with Tiger Woods? Yeah, that's the people we roll with. Love you, Angel. I'm so glad that you're here and that it was exactly what you needed. So here we go. So share this video, tag your friends. There's so many women out there who are sitting in the corner. Remember, nobody puts baby in the corner. So if you know a baby that's sitting in the corner who just needs some, so I'll tell you this. So as part of the leadership program, I also enrolled in another year-long program. And with that program, I got 6 months of a performance coach bonus for signing up. So I was sharing with the performance coach, she was asking me like, why did I enroll in this program? And what are some of the challenges that I've, encountered or things that I'm looking to sort of shift through? And I told her the story of, sometimes feeling like, I get to play small because I might be too much. People have felt like, oh, she's, one gentleman in the program said when he first saw me, he was afraid of me. So that just goes to tell you how strong the energy is, right? He was afraid of me. And so I shared that because I know that has been the truth up until this point, that I sometimes dim it down. I don't wear my diamonds. I may just try to plain Jane myself. So everybody else doesn't feel like, oh, well. And so she listened and she was taking her notes and she literally said to me, or you could just go find your people. And that just struck me in that moment so powerfully. I was like, you know what? Yes. Stop taking time, effort, energy, trying to be like the octopus to kind of mold yourself into these small corners so you can fit in. Just stop that and go find your people. Go find your people who, when you come through with dripping with diamonds, they're like, yes, queen, come through. We're here for all of this. She said, just go find your people. And that just lit me up. So this is what I'm saying to you. We're not in anybody's corner because we're doing no harm. If somebody has a challenge or a problem that you show up in a long maxi and it's just a cookout barbecue in the backyard, but here you come with your maxi skirt flowing and your double wrist party, and they have a problem, that's a reflection of what's going on in their lives. It's nothing to do with you. This is what I'm learning. So we sit in nobody's corner anymore. We do no harm. So as long as we can look God in the face and say, were you being like a Heather? If you guys know that movie, The Heathers, were you being a mean girl? Were you trying to, step on people so you could look good? As long as you can say, God, I was being like Jesus, then you're good. You're absolutely good. Awesome. Let's see what's going on in the studio. Heading to film. I love it. Yes, honey. Get your queen wardrobe. See yourself on that set, Suzanne, as A-list talent. Get your orchids. Get your sparkling water, your spring whatever. Be in because listen. If it serves you and it nurtures you and it gives you more energy so you can walk into that character and just flow it, then that's what works for you. You're not saying, oh, somebody else can't get sparkling water. I didn't tell you you can drink. I'm saying I drink sparkling water. That's what works for me. So this is what we do sometimes. We put these judgments on people well, oh, does she think she's so fancy she can only drink sparkling water? I didn't tell you couldn't. I'm saying this is what's working for me in my life. Sparkling water gives me zest. Sparkling water gives me joy. Sparkling water gets me into my character right away. So I will be drinking sparkling water. Thank you. Carrie. Yes, everybody, we get to find our people. We don't get to spend 80% of our lives trying to be like an acrobat, trying to twist and bend to fit other people's sensibilities because they're not yet in their power, where you could have another powerful woman next to you and you feel empowered yourself. You're not feeling like, oh, she's such a show off. Look at her. She's talking extra. This is my time. And why did she come to this party? That you're just yes, you're Wonder Twin powers activate. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Yes. Totally being a Karen. Karen, you're funny. Yes. We pray for the Karens of the world. We pray for the Karens that they have conviction and courage to really stand into the truth that is theirs and allow other people to stand into the truth that is theirs. I love it. Okay. So share tag. All right. So when we last left Gina was like, I need to get up on out of this place. I am not here for this life. And again, what she was saying is not that I'm saying that there was anything wrong with Troy, Michigan. Shout out to the people from Troy, Michigan. She's just saying for her, for what the divine has put in her heart, which is her burning desire, for what the divine has said, here is your path. Her path is not meant to be in a cul-de-sac in Troy, Michigan. Her path is taking her further. unapologetically is where we need to be. So she says, this isn't me. My soul screamed in protest, living in what for me was the capital. Did she just say the capital of mediocrity? Yes, ma'am. Living in the capital of mediocrity, getting my BA in communications, but that was what the adults in my life told me I should do. And you know, we talk about should. I should do this. I should just stop shitting all over yourself. Stop shitting all over yourself. Had me in tears for 3 solid years. This cannot be my real life. I see myself with a meaningful profession, positively impacting the lives of others. Plus, hello, somebody. Stilita Cheatham's in the building. She said, plus attending galas in New York and operas in Vienna and wearing Versace and Valentino. What? We are here for all of this. Now, you see, what she's saying is that's what Divine put in her. And somebody might go, oh, you think you're so bougie, you're so brand new. Why you have to be in Valentino and Versace? Why you can't just be okay with something that you get from Macy's? Why do you have to be going to operas in Vienna? Why can't you just like watch, you know, Netflix? We stand against all of this. Do you have a check for me? Instead, I'm in a snowsuit, trudging uphill with my ginormous backpack, wasting my time sitting through boring general education classes like economics and astronomy and generally hating life. So if you are sounding or feeling like Gina and where she is in this moment of her life, 80%, 70% of your time can't be spent hating your life. That energy, low frequency. And if the majority of your time you're spending expressing low vibration energy, guess what? Energy like attracts like. So there you go, steady just attracting more low vibration energy to yourself. By my 3rd grueling winter in Kalamazoo, I was done with the city rumored to have last seen Elvis. I could no longer ignore the red flags that I've been thrown completely off course of living this epic life I had envisioned for myself. I didn't know what to do or who could save me from having no better options than going to a basement grunge party that annoyingly blared Kurt Cobain music. Just as I was coming of age and excited to step into my soon-to-be glamorous style as a young adult, I realized this was the early 90s, a time when it was illegal to look like you might have taken a shower or put a brush through your hair within the last 3 weeks. I needed a win. So I turned to the relationship I had always relied on during an existential crisis such as this. Dear God, please help me. I prayed. Show me the way to a magnificent life full of meaning. I am asking for a miracle. I know you've created me for more than this. Wow. And because ask and it is given, a few weeks after putting my plea into the heavens, a childhood friend of mine from Interlaken just happened to call me to catch up. Abigail told me how much she was enjoying college life at American University in Washington, D.C., making new friends, going to fun parties, meeting interesting people from around the world, enjoying picnics at the National Mall, and having an absolute blast. When I shared with her my bummer of a university experience, she encouraged me to join her in what sounded like the center of the universe. Digging deep, tapping into those little girl dreams of greatness, thinking bigger for myself, I decided to believe that a better college life was possible and immediately acted. There's that sense of urgency. There is that inspired action. There is that quickness. Napoleon Hill says leaders make decisions quickly and they rarely, if ever, change their minds. I decided to believe that a better college life was possible and immediately acted on what clearly was the answer to my prayers by submitting numerous applications for summer internships. I was offered a position at a nonprofit organization, the National Center for Victims of Crime. I was thrilled to be of service in our nation's capital, which was filled with people who were up to big things at the top of their game. For the first time, I felt here my contribution could have purpose and meaning that would affect people on a grand scale. Finally, not only did I enthusiastically get up every morning to go to work, I couldn't stop meeting fabulous new friends. My social life was thriving, nightly in Georgetown, on weekends at the beaches along the Atlantic Ocean, and midweek at fundraisers, where I mingled with other smart people and worked on the Hill or for political action committees and think tanks. I was loving my new life. And there was no way I was going to leave it just because the summer was over. Because remember, she said she did summer internships. By the fall of my senior year, I had secured a prestigious internship giving public lectures at the Supreme Court of the United States. And for my second semester, I landed the holy grail of internships, working for the chief of staff of the First Lady's office at the White House. My idea of the epic life had just hit the jackpot. Queen by design. Here I am, walking into the coveted West Wing adjacent Eisenhower executive office building. Daily never got old. The women in Hillary Clinton's office were amazing, high-powered, smart, on purpose, generous, fun to be around, fully committed to making the world a better place. For all my leaders out there standing as a source of a transformed world. All the while treating each other and everyone in the office, including me, with the utmost respect. They'd let me peek into state dinners, attend helicopter takeoffs, even sit in on a few unclassified meetings just so I could watch and learn. It was glorious. These were my first upfront and close role models of queens, who to me were living the epic life. Then it was time to graduate. Upon receiving my diploma, I accepted a paid position with a private company owned by a political insider who I quickly discovered didn't live by the ethics that had been modeled by my previous supervisors. So after a few short months, I resigned. I had witnessed the underbelly of what can happen in the political arena while working for this egomaniac who wound up in an international scandal. Though his dealings were completely unbeknownst to me, I discovered what guilt by association meant by the age of 21, which by definition had me exiled from life as I knew it. We'll discuss more of what it means to be exiled in chapter 4. Seeing no other options in a haze of fog, I moved home to Detroit, where I now was surrounded with 20-somethings who thought going to rave parties in abandoned warehouses was cool. What a fall from grace. I felt like my professional life was over before it had barely begun. I sank into a depression. So what I get from this, and what I want you to think about, what it's saying for you is decision-making doesn't always have the certainty, the map that says, okay, when you make this decision, queen, when you make this decision, here's how it's going to play out all the way till you leave this earth, right? Martin Luther King says, take the steps, even though you can't see the full staircase, just keep stepping. So that's what she did, right? It was an internship. Okay, there's no plan, there's no job. Like if I do this internship in DC, am I going to get this job? And this job's going to be great. And then. But she saw the opening and she jumped and she said yes. And I want you to know that is, I'm going to encourage you to be more fearless on this Good Friday, on this Follow Friday. Speaking of Follow Friday, queens, who has some stuff that they want people to follow? Your Instagram, your YouTube, your Facebook, your Twitter, your whatever. Let's just take a moment now because queens get to drop their links. Drop your links all over the place like confetti. And everybody, we get to follow. We get to follow the queens. I love it. Drop your links, queens. Let me see them. Like confetti, make it rain. All of them. Because the audacity to say, as a queen, I get to have followers. So be like the queen and drop your links. Queens have people following them. Queens are not out by themselves, because then you're not leading anybody. You're just out on a walk, right? I forget where I heard that, but it's like, if you think you're a leader, look around, look back. Is there anybody following you? If not, you're just out on a walk. So drop those links, Queens. So I want to tell you a story that literally mirror matches this notion. So when I was in New York and I was doing my studies, my declared major was communications and my minor was psychology. And much like this story, you get internships, you know, required part of your studies. And so I had done an internship at WABC TV in New York at the news desk. I had done an internship at a couple of other places. And one day I went to Hunter College. So we're on the Upper East Side. So I was walking on Madison Avenue, and one of my classmates, she's basically my cohort, she was also in the same communications track. We bumped into each other and we started to chit chat, and we're talking about internships. And then she shared with me that she got a great internship at Channel 47 Noticias. Now, as a Latina, that was a great get for her because, you know, she's very much steeped in her culture and, you know, wanting to be able to show up and serve her people. So she was like, yeah, I'm going to take, she's like, but I'd already committed to this other internship at Ogilvy. And so she started to tell me about it, and she was like, oh, do you want it? And I was like, sure. I want you to hear what just happened. We are on Madison Avenue going about our business. She had 2 internships that she said yes to. She was going to take the Channel 47 Noticias News TV. She's like, I already took this one at Ogilvy. Ogilvy is one of the top leading advertising agencies in the globe. She's like, you want it? I said, sure. Monday, I show up to Ogilvy in Mather. Nobody knows me a day in their life. Nobody's seen me before. I don't know anybody there. I have I showed up in my suit, my little portfolio, my resume, multiple copies. And I show up and I say, I have a meeting with, her name was, the hiring manager was Donna Landau. They let me up. I meet with her. I said, Annette is not going to make it, but I am here. Honey, queen move. Queen move. People look at me like, you did what? So she is flabbergasted, dumbfounded, gobsmacked, awestruck. Like, what is going on here? Who is this woman? And what does she mean Annette, who I already did the interview process with and gave the internship, is not going to make it? So she told me to have a seat. I sat down. Listen, I had nothing to lose. Meanwhile, I'm working at Mitsubishi Textiles just to have money to go through college. It has zero to do with my interests, zero to do with anything I want to do with my life. It's just money to pay bills. So after she like picks her face up off the floor and she reads through my details and she hires me like on the spot. And I proceed next day to tell my job, this is my job, that I am getting money to pay my rent. I let them know I won't be coming back, because for me, a 7-week internship versus a job that's giving me money, but it's not a job that I have any desire in. It's not an area that I plan on pursuing. So I quit this and took the 7-week unpaid internship because I just knew like I just need to get my heel in this door. Because the minute I get my heel in the doors of Ogilvy and Mather, I came to work. I knew I was going to do every single thing that God equipped me with to do, to demonstrate not only my willingness, my eagerness, but my determination to be here, because this is where the calling starts. She was just like, whoa. After the 7 week, after she was like, I remember one time somebody told me, one of our colleagues who was, I became friends with her because she was working there as well. So some of the things that we're doing, like creating the show opens for the Montel Williams show and, Paramount show opens. So it was like, the subsidiary was Thin Man Productions at Ogilvy. So we were doing lots of TV production. One time she said, "Oh, Faith is so good, but her look is so ethnic." We'll save that for a separate conversation. The 7-week comes, honey, she is on the floor begging me, "Oh, please don't go, please stay." Right? So the decision to take an internship, what Gina was talking about, it's a for real thing. When you are decided, when you know you are created for more, because I knew quite well international textiles was not my jam. There was no fire in the belly. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to connect with the Japanese team and see what textiles are going to be shipped. It was just, give me my money. And I got in and I did my work and I showed up, and then they were like begging me to stay. And then that's where my whole career started. I was like brand new in advertising. My first ever client was IBM, the global IBM account. I was like the account executive, junior account executive, in fact. I mean, green as green can be. But I just knew what I had to do. I knew what I had to do. And I was just immersed in. I remember once one of the supervisors was talking about where all the different spots were going to be run. So we're like it's almost like we had to create 7 spots for IBM in like 7 days. Like it felt like that. It was compressed. Like we were in this big, huge, massive war room, they called it. I mean, steeped with people, creative ideas up against the wall, people from all areas, conference calls going on. But I was like, I am here for all of this. Like this. Yes. Thank you, Jesus. So I'm taking notes because I'm like, literally, I'm like a scribe when my supervisor is talking. I'm like this. And I heard her say, yeah, so we need to have versions of the commercial for, what did she say? So for like obviously North America, US and Canada, and for EMEA. Momentum crew, your girl doesn't even know what EMEA is. Your girl can't even spell EMEA. I literally wrote down AMIA. EMEA. I'm just sounding it out. And I'm just like, I'm here. I'm present. I'm taking the notes. It's EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. EMEA. But listen, I was going to win. Every cell in my body, in my being the only immigrant Black in the room. I can't tell you how many conference calls, how many meetings, how many IBM meetings. I'm like oftentimes the only Black person in the room, in any of the conference rooms, anywhere. Overhearing and ignoring. Oh, Faith is so good, but her look is so ethnic. Overhearing, but ignoring. Because I didn't come here for all of that. I came here to cash my winnings. I came here to cash my check. So when you hear stories like what Gina is sharing, what I just shared with you, be fearless in it. If you see something and you're like, oh, this would be a great opportunity, go for it. Because guess what? This is what I use. This is why I stay fearless. I run through in my mind, okay, what's the worst case scenario? All right. So I take this thing from Annette. Shout out to Annette Mata. I take this thing from Annette. I go show up and get this internship. I'm going to leave my good paying job where they like me long time, right? It's not hard work, but I'm getting paid. I'm going to take this 7-week unpaid internship, quit my Mitsubishi textiles job that's paying me, getting me through college and paying my rent. And then if I take that and then they, after the 7 weeks, they're like, okay, bye-bye. Then what's going to happen? Okay, so then that means I'm going to be out of a job. Okay, then rent. Okay, how am I going to? I run through the scenario. And if in no iteration that I can put in my mind, do I end up homeless under a bridge? I go for it. Because guess what? If I have to sleep at somebody's apartment, as we say in Jamaica, couch, or we say bunks on the sofa, if I have to do that for a hot minute until I gather myself, woosah, if I've got to go back home and live with my mom, if I have to go stay with my, I'm not homeless under a bridge. You guys, you get what I'm saying? So you go forth. Martin Luther King, keep climbing. You don't see the full staircase, but keep climbing. And if you're a worry person, you're like, oh, but what if, run the what if scenarios. Okay, so then you have no job. Okay, then what? Okay, then you're not going to have money to pay this month's rent. Okay, then you're going to get some allowances from some, you're going to borrow some money from. Run it how you want to run it. Make it the scariest thing that it could possibly be. Are you under a bridge, homeless, living in a cardboard box in any of those scenarios? Because we have friends, we have family, we have opportunities to go take other work, right? So don't let the unknown or the what ifs stop you from missing the moment. So that's what Gina did. She was like, oh, I'm here in Kalamazoo, trudging through snow with a big, huge backpack, hating life. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? You're doing an internship in DC, the center of the universe, and you're hobnobbing with people and going to state dinners. Okay, let me go experience that. Let me go do that. Because what's going to happen is sort of like you think about like a waistband of like an underwear or a pants or something. It's like an elastic band. Once you stretch it out and you stretch it, it can never, ever go back to the shape it was when it was brand new. So now you've stretched your mind. You've done this internship thing. You've seen a couple of things. Even if you go, we're going to continue on Monday. She's going back to her hometown, but her mind has been stretched. She's seen too much. She can't unsee it. She knows what's now on the other side. So you get to decide, are you going to stay quietly, play small in your corner? Or are you going to say, you know what? Queens, discover new lands, my loves. Whether you sending out Christopher Columbus on the Pinta, the Nina, the Santa Maria, learn that from Jamaica. We do a little like song about that. But whether you are sending out your explorers or you yourself are like, bring half the kingdom, we're going into new territory. We're going to see what's over yonder there. We're going to claim that part for the kingdom. Queens discover, explore new territories. So that's what I want you to take away from today's session. Even though, nevertheless, even though there's no certainty, there's no, here's the full roadmap, you may or may not get to the end of where you think you're going to go. But guess what? We know that we serve one God and he alone is God, and he is the way maker. He is the way shower. You heard what she said? Let me give it back to you. She said, dear God, please help me. Show me, because he's the way maker, the way shower. Show me the way to a magnificent life full of meaning. I am asking for a miracle. That when you fully understand that the position that you're standing in and where your desire is self, the desires in your heart, you're like, it's going to take a miracle to get there. That you acknowledge that you stand on faith, that you fully recognize this is a big ask. I get it, right? I know you've created me for more than this. That's standing in your faith. And she's quoting scripture, though, and she doesn't say this, but it is. Jesus says you have not because you ask not. Ask. You're not going to die. Ask. Dare to dream. Dare to step in your queendom. So yesterday I asked you to do something that's going to push you a little bit more into your audacity. And Felicia, she's one of my my leadership buddies, was on yesterday, and she posted a picture in her group where she was sort of just like luxuriating or just like hanging out in her robe, and then she like put on like red lipstick and she had on this like off the shoulder thing. And that just warmed my heart so much, because just even that little move shifts your energy. When I show up every day and I'm like, I know I'm in Swarovski's, because let me tell you a little bit about Swarovski. Breakfast at Tiffany, the tiara, Swarovski. The Oscar curtain, emblazoned, Swarovski. Red ruby slippers, Swarovski. Any red carpet, Hollywood, Swarovski. On my hand, in my ears, my neck, Swarovski. So just even that connection of like, wait, what? I'm rocking the same crystals, the same beautifully designed crystals that J-Lo is rocking. Oh, yes, please. Queendom and queen energy rising. It sounds like it's a small thing, but it's not a small thing. So any little shift that you can make. So when Felicia put on her red lipstick and did her little shoulder, queen, what's it going to be for you today? How are you going to do a little bit more expression? How are you going to be audacious in showing up like the queen that you are? Let me see. Okay. So did everybody drop? Did everybody make it rain with the confettis? Okay. So Stelita dropped her YouTube. Go follow Stelita. Karen, Wake Up Women Org, go connect, go join. Karen Mayfield, Jacqueline Young Landy, Facebook, connect. Angel, YouTube, Speak Up Sis, go and connect. Yeah, let's do Lita said, make it rain, y'all. Yes, Instagram, speak.up.sis, go connect. Good morning, beautiful Raquel. How are you, Angel? Did you drop your links? We're doing Follow Friday. Yes, let's see. Karen says, there will come a day when you will be called from princess status to be the queen you are. Get ready. Yes, I love that. And what do I always say? We build stay ready brands, so we never have to get ready. We're always ready. I tell you this all the time. Somebody were to knock on my door right now and say, oh, we one of our speakers from the BB&T dropped out for whatever reason. We need somebody to fill. Can you just give me a second? Let me get my shoes. I stay ready. Be ready. Stay ready. Sounds like you're funny, Carrie. Oh my gosh, Stephanie, I love you for tagging your family member. Awesome. And yes, Melanie, are you on here? Show yourself plain, my love. Let us recognize you. Absolutely. Yes. Jesus overhearing, but ignoring. Oh, Angel, you should have never brought that guest on. She didn't seem like she really was that connected to the information. Like when you asked her those examples, she only do you have a check for me? Overhearing. Ignoring. Oh, Marcella, hello. Marcella, drop your links. We're doing Follow Friday, even though you've come on late. No worries. Drop your links. Queens get to follow queens. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am, they do. They're all about the increase, the more life, the future expansion of the kingdom for generations to come. So be in your full exploration of new territory. I went in my backyard, cut flowers. Yes. And listen, do you see what Jacqueline just said? Not just in her room or not just in the kitchen or not. She said she put it in every room. Yes. Queens get to express their full joy in every room that they go. So, right, you're in this one. It's like, oh, this one's fully adorned. But then you take a quick use of your guest bathroom, and your guest bathroom looks like it's a storage shed. Why? Because you don't have any guests? No, honey. You get to be queen in every room. Let that be a way for you to take something as simple as even if it's just like, wildflowers, it's a small thing. Like, even if it's just like, you see this candle here I got from Khalid Jackson, positive energy. And then I burn that. This from Melody. I have my sage and rose. I have in the kitchen, and then I have another one in the living room that I'm going to woo-saw as and when the mood strikes. So Carrie said, yesterday I combed my hair. Ooh, girl. I love it. This is what I'm talking about. This is me every day. This is not just, oh, I'm like dressed on because I'm coming on to the show. I am Swarovski down every single day because we don't know the time nor the hour. And I'm telling you, there's something energetically about these amazing crystals that when you put I can't even like give it a good word. You sit taller. You feel more expansive. My mentor, David, says, he's like, surround yourself with opulence. This is a man who used to drive a forklift, got paid $40,000 a year. Now he's multi-millionaire. He has somebody who handles his dog. This is next level that we're talking about. I shared with you my other mentor, Shanda. She has like a house manager. I was like, I know she's not talking about a housekeeper. Did she say a house manager? Honey, I was taking notes. I was like, what? Let me level up my queendom. But it's good to see these full expressions of what's possible. I'm sorry. So he literally said, David said he just plays with his dog. He has a person that feeds the dog, gets the thing, the shots take him to wherever, whatever he needs. He is present to his dog for just the loving. The dog manager, when it's time for him to get his comprehensive, when it's time for him to get his flea things, whatever, he's like, yeah, you can handle. I'm just giving him 100% of my time, 100% of love. I was like, I'm so with the right mentors because they so express the life that I'm desirous of. It's sort of that audacity, the audacity to want a dog manager, the audacity to have a house manager make your smoothie and put your supplements out. I'm sorry, what? The audacity, and the audacity is good. I love it. Jacqueline says, I had a big banana leaf. It looks like I know the plane, but they look grand. Exactly. Just wild flowers, just greenery, cut flowers, right? Even if you go to your local supermarket grocer. Listen, it doesn't have to, like, this is like an 8 or 9 stem live orchid, right? It doesn't have to be like this. It could be one. It could be daisies. It could be the rose. It doesn't matter. But as you start to shift, magic happens for you. I don't know who this is, but I love the all. Live out loud at all times. And listen, this is not just me saying it. This is scriptural. Who knows Solomon? Solomon was a good king, right? Because his daddy was David, the gooder king. And when God asked him what he wanted, he said, I'm just so grateful. You've given me these people, your chosen people of Israel. Give me wisdom and understanding because I get to learn how to lead them properly. And God said, okay, you asked for wisdom and understanding. I'm going to make you the smartest, most articulate, most knowledge-filled king before and after. That's your crown. Nobody's going to be as smart as you. But you see, because you didn't ask for riches, I'm going to give you riches. Solomon was so rich, wealthy, financially secure. The bronze, the gold, the silver, so much in the Bible, it says it could not be counted. Do you know what that rich, that good, rich, that good wealth is like when you can't even count it? It's so much. God's just like, whoosh, like a flood rushing in. Here comes Solomon with his jewels, with his money, with his gold, his bronze that can't even be weighed, just overflowing, cup overflowing, tamp down. Oh, we said we're God of multiplication. So when I'm calling forth your queenness, it is scriptural. It's not just because I'm trying to be extra, right? Calling it in because that's what God created us to be. We serve a God of multiplication. Scripture says the heavens, the streets, come on, somebody. The streets are paved with jewels. You know, you have to be that extra, extra, extra rich, wealthy, extra. That streets, not just a nice paved driveway, the streets are paved with jewels. Unending source of diamonds, of ruby, of emerald, of amethyst in the core of the. I'm sorry, did you say the planet itself is richly adorned with precious, priceless jewels that we get to mine? Yes, yes, and yes. More about. Thank you, Sprinkles. These are the words. We're not adding nothing to it. You know, God don't like you to add nothing to his words. Don't take away nothing. Don't add nothing to his words. He said what he said. So you can live the life more abundantly. Not just okay, not just small, not like small, like baby in the corner. Abundantly. It's scriptural. And so when you are fully expressed, God is like, yes. He's like, come through. Yes. Opulence, come through. Riches, come through. Wealth of knowledge, of intellect, of love, come through. He's about more life. Number one universal law, more life. I tell you this all the time. You cut the grass doesn't freak out and go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. She cut me down to 2 inches. What are we going to do? Like, oh my God, we're never gonna, like, we're totally like wrecked now. Oh my God, I can send for help. What? The grass, the grass overhearing and ignoring. It's like, okay, she cut me down to 1 inch within my life. Okay, guess what we're going to do? We're just going to grow. Be like nature. Be like the trees. You cut the limb. It's like, okay, we're good. We're just going to grow. We're just going to grow. We're just going to grow. So absolutely. Carrie comes. Listen, Carrie, exactly. This is what I'm saying. When we read High Performance Habits, one of the high performance habits was level up your squad. Because I'm telling you, until I got around multimillionaire mentors, because I'm like, I'm looking to see more possibilities, because what God said, more life, more abundantly. So let me look for some evidence, some people that I can actually say I know and I can connect with. Let me see how you live in. You know that the theme song from In Living Color? You can do what you wanna do. How you living in living colors? I get to see how they live in. Okay. What's a house manager, ma'am? Oh my God. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you say you have a dog manager? Somebody just takes care of the dog and you just play with your dog? What? Listen, I'm like, I'm not even trying to live this life. Like, what have I been doing? No, honey, we get to stretch up and see out there what's going on, because people out there living more life. And what are we supposed to be? Just the crabs in the barrel? Just trying to get up and see a little sunshine? No, ma'am. We reject that. Lord himself says, live life more abundantly. So absolutely, Carrie, you are in the right place. You are in the right zip code. You are in the right town. Yes, queendom is the birthright. Queendom. Queendom. So I'm going to leave you with a little bit of what I was reading this morning. So, you know, every day I have my board meeting with God. I read through the Bible every single year, the whole thing. So I start from old. Then I have also I'm in the new. Like, let me see if I can show you how I do it, if this would serve someone. So do you see these little bookmarker things? So this one bookmarker here is where I am in the in the Old Testament. So I start from the beginning and I keep reading. Then this bookmarker is bookmarked to the Lord is my shepherd. I read that every single day. So that bookmark's there. So I know to turn to that. This bookmark, 91, I read that every day. So that bookmark is there. So then now, and I also simultaneously I'm reading in the New Testament. So where's that bookmark? Hello, someone. Okay. So this bookmark shows me where I am in the New Testament. And then this one is a permanent bookmark, Colossians 1:9 here. Oh, you can see it. Oh, come on, somebody. I read that 1:9, that where that purple every single day. So I have 3 scripture that I read every single day. And then I just start in the beginning of the Old Testament and I start in the beginning of the New Testament and I just read through until it's done and I just start it all over again. So that's what I do in the morning. So in the Old Testament, I'm in Esther and Queen Vashti. Queen Vashti had an attitude. The king sent for her. He said, come dance for us. Show us how you're so beautifully adorned. And she was like, talk to the hand. She was like, no, I'm not coming to dance for you and your people. I'm good. I'm here in my royalty. And they were incensed, like, oh my gosh, king, you can't do this, because then if she didn't come, she disrespected you. And then everybody in the kingdom is going to hear Queen Vashti ignored the king. All the other wives are going to be like, what? Vashti turned up on the king. Maybe we can do the same. It was a whole drama. So it was like, okay, banish her to another place in the kingdom. Find the king a new queen. And they go through their selection process. And Esther pleases the king, and she's now new queen. So Esther is Jewish, and let's call it the chief of staff, right? Haman is his name. Didn't like Mordecai, who Mordecai is related to Esther, but kind of down low, nobody really knows that. Anyway, Mordecai is an express Jew. And so because of his customs and his religions, he's not bowing down to nobody. You pass, you good, you have the ring, I'm good, I'm a Jew, and we don't do that. So he got in his feelings. He tried to like set up Mordecai, right? So he could basically wipe out all the Jews. So Mordecai finds out about this plan, tells Esther, who's now his relative. He took Esther in as his child when her parents were dead, and said, oh my gosh, you got to send word to the king. He is trying to wipe out all the Jews. You got to help us. And she was like, well, I don't know about that, Mordecai. You know, there's a rule, there's a law that says anybody who enters the presence of the king, and where's Stelita? The rule basically read like this. I'm making it a little bit more casual. Don't come for me unless I send for you, is basically what he said. The law says nobody can just enter the king's presence. If anybody shows up in the courtyard and he didn't send for you, immediate death, unless the king put up his scepter and spares your life. So Stelita, that's where I get that from. And Mordecai said to her, listen, Esther, Queen Esther, don't think because you're a queen now, you're a Jew. Don't think because you're a queen now, you're going to be the only one that's saved, right? When somebody else may save us, and then you're going to be found out that you're Jewish, and then you're going to die. He said, and who knows, maybe you were created to be queen for such a time as this. Queendom, being queen, also comes with responsibilities. So we're not just out here joie de vivre, having la vida loca, la pura vida, because we want to feel good. Understand that your queendom, your queenness, also comes with responsibilities. And so we'll get more into that, but I just wanted to set up for you when I start on that training what I mean by that. But that's what he said. It wasn't just that you were lucky. It just wasn't that Queen Vashti turned up and showed herself. I'm gonna say her ASS. Queen Vashti showed herself, and they were like, okay, now you too disrespectful. You get to go live somewhere else. We need a new queen. And here comes Esther, beautiful. But he was like, don't get it twisted. You gorgeous and all, and you queen now, but maybe the reason God put you here to be queen, the reason God let Vashti turn up is because you as a Jew get to be queen at this time because Haman and his people trying to wipe out the entire Jew. This is why you're here. Yes. Yes. Do you have a check for moi? Is that Masira, Shari? Yes, Selena. Absolutely. Definitely created for a time such as this. So your queenness, as we excavate, as we elevate it, please hear me say very loud and clear, with your queendom, it comes with responsibility, and to start thinking about who are you going to show up for? How are you going to help other people in your full essence as queen? Because a queen gets to protect her kingdom as well from oncoming assaults and other kingdoms who are near do well. She's not just puffing and having beauty treatments. The queen rules also in her kingdom. So we get to say how wonderful a time it is I get to spend with you guys, and how wonderful it is that you get to be here with me in this format, because I tell you, this doesn't exist anyplace. I don't care who you work with or what you do. There's nobody that's coming on and train. I mean, I want you to know that this, what I do, is inspired by my mentor. He's the one who I first kind of saw like pulling different books and reading and training on the topic. I paid tens of thousands of dollars to be in mentorship with him. All right. And I'm here on the platforms for free. So while I want you to be so fully present, I want you to also be fully present that this is a gift. Because nobody's out here doing this, taking an hour every day. It doesn't happen. It's like you get 15 minutes, you maybe get 20 minutes, you maybe get 30, but then they're peace out. So rest in your gratitude. Yes, I love this, Jacqueline. Jacqueline says this is not a practice life. Show up and be your best life right now. So for those of you who have not yet registered, upcoming April 6th, it is the Being the CEO of You retreat. If you're like, wait, what? There it is. www.beingtheceoofyou.com. I have pulled together some of the most brilliant, awesome, wonderful, spectacular, just so powerfully in their knowing on this topic of entrepreneurship. If you feel like you've just been spinning and spinning and you're in the rinse cycle and the machine can't stop, you get to hit the pause button and come to this retreat and learn from international best-selling authors, TV hosts. You get to learn from business coaches. You get to hear some powerful stories. I want you guys to really hear what is being said, how people have overcome. You get to hear from somebody who started their business in the pandemic and is thriving, and you get to learn how they do that. So you don't get to spin and be in the corner by yourself anymore. Take this pro tip, upgrade to the VIP. With the VIP, many of you already have done that. With the VIP, you get the full lifetime access to the entire session. So if you can't make it for the first half or the second half, or you've got to miss anything, you don't get to miss anything. You get to be choice focused, make a choice to go invest $47, find a card, put the $47 on that. You get lifetime access. You get a free ticket to the social branding masterclass with me, where I'm going to show you how to level up your Instagram, your social media platforms like your LinkedIn and your Facebook. You also get the personal branding checklist. And I've just added, when you're VIP, you get to ask the speakers a question specifically to your business. So this is what it would look like. There's a form. I send the email out. If you're not in yet, just go register and pay and get in VIP. So what's the one burning question that you're asking specifically about your business? So that question gets submitted to me. I present that to the speaker that I'm interviewing at the time. You get a full shout out. Your social media gets a shout out. So for example, I would say something like, okay, this question comes from Jacqueline Young Landy of JYL Image and Style. Follow her on her Instagram at da, 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 da. So Jacqueline's question is, da, da, da. Do you think that's worth to get that shout out that's going to thousands of people that'll hear me say your name? Say my name, say my name, right? I will be saying your name and your business and your Instagram or whichever one you put that you want to do a shout out on. And you are asking a question for you. You get to be self-focused. You're not asking a general question that the whole place can bend. This is your opportunity because you said, I'm going to do VIP. So VIP has special privileges. So you get to ask a question specifically for you. They get to answer you by name and they answer your specific question. So if that sounds good and you want that and you want that free shout out, that's going to go to that. Because here's what's happening. Remember, people are getting the recording. That's going to be a permanent record. Your name, your company name, your Instagram handle is going to be permanently emblazoned in this session. I'm just making it so easy for you to see because leaders show up, leaders take decisive action, right? Remember the boldness of, hey, you don't know me from a day in your life, a hole in the wall, but I'm here for this job that you didn't interview me for, but I'm here. That's a boldness. That's a decision that says, I am not baby. I will not be in the corner. I am going to take a chance on me. I'm here because what's the worst thing they can do? Security. We don't know this woman and she's an Ogilvy. Security and usher me out. That's the worst that could happen, right? So I would love for you to come to the retreat. Oh my gosh, Carrie, I love that. Yes, and definitely share and tag more people. That's how you can serve me. Honestly, that's how you can serve me. I show up here for an hour and it's no cost to you. You can serve me by bringing other people in because that is my mission. That is my mission, is to literally be a source for a transformed world. This is what we get to do in leadership. And I get to be fully in the doing of that every single day, not just, when it's convenient, every single day. So get registered. If you've already registered and you were sort of like, not sure, you're kind of hemming and hawing, should I do VIP? Should I not? Be decisive. You're worth $47. The value is exponential. The master class alone is thousands of clients have paid me $3,000 for this information that you get for a $47, like for real, for real. All right, lovelies. I love you so much. Have a fabulous weekend. We will be back Monday, 10 a.m. And then of course, Tuesday, we're in the retreat from 8:30. I will have the Zoom open up at 8 for anybody who's a leader. And like I like to say, leaders are early. And maybe for those who show up early, they'll get bonus laser coaching from me because I'm going to be there anyway. So show up, leaders are early. I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And I will see you everybody on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.
No one ever sees me.